Okay, we've looked at this data before and made histograms. Now we're going to make a box plot with this. Following data represents the age of U.S. presidents at their respective inauguration. And so we want to make a 5-number summary and a box plot and comment on the shape. So we're going to do this on our calculator. So we're going to put all of this data in our calculator. So I'll pull that up. If I can get that up here, move it over. Alright, so if I do that, I don't know, I've got a couple of them up here. Alright, so we're going to put the data in the calculator. I'm not going to have you watch me do that, but stat list. I'm just going to clear all these lists so it's easy to see. Come over here, clear, and I'll just put the data in and I'll come back. Okay, I put the list in, counted them up, and I was one short, and I ended up realizing I only put 3 57s in instead of 4, so I added the 57 at the end. So I want to make a 5-number summary. So the place where I find that data is under stat calc. So I'm going to go to stat calc, one variable stat. I have to tell it list L1 because I put the data in L1. Calculate. And if I scroll down, there's my 5-number summary. And remember, it's once I start writing, it's going to go away. So 42, 50.5, 54.5, 57.5, and 69 was the max. Okay, so there's my 5-number summary. Okay, and it says to make a box plot. So I can do this by hand, or I can do it on the calculator. Since I already have this summary data, it's just easy to do it by hand. So I'm going to start at 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. So Q1 to Q3 is 50 and a half, up to 57. Oh, there's a tight little box there. Median is 54 and a half. Minimum is 42. And the max is 69. Okay, so that looks reasonably symmetric. Okay, I don't see any tails, and that's why it's critical that your scale is consistent so that you don't have it stretched one way or the other just because of your scale, of course. So this is the, if I label it, this is the age at inauguration. Okay, so we want to label them just like we do our histograms. So there's number 9 and number 13 as M&Ms. We want to make a box plot for this data. We want to confirm that it's symmetric. For convenience, here's the data. So we want to go ahead and just input the data in our list again, and go ahead and this is again just practice. Do it on our calculators, and the more you do this, the easier it gets. 0.87, 0.91, and I'm going to pause it while I put it in. Okay, got the 50 pieces of data in here, and we'll do the same thing as before. We'll look at the 5-number summary. So make sure you do this to check stat calc, one variable stat. My data is in L2, which is second 2. Oops, gotta go down to calculate and scroll down. So there's my 5-number summary. So it is 0.79, 0.84, 0.87. 0.9 and 0.95. So that's my minimum, Q1, median, Q3, and maximum. What I want to do on now is I want to show you the box plot on here. The second stat plot, which is where all of our plots are. I'm going to do the first plot, and I'm going to go down, and I'm going to go over to the box plot. I scroll to the right, and it wraps around. And I'm going to do the first box plot because it has the little dots. Those are outliers. This one doesn't include outliers. This is actually called a modified box plot. And the X list is L2. And I'm going to go zoom 9, which is zoom stat, which we do that on a lot of our graphs. And that gives me a really nice symmetric box plot. And I can do trace, and that's going to tell me what all of my values are. So the minimum 79. See, I could have done this without actually doing one variable stat, but I wanted to show you that again to make sure you could do that. So we've got minimum, Q1, median, Q3, and maximum. So it's a real nice graph there. And so we'll go ahead and do this and put it on here. And we're talking weights of M&Ms. And we're going to go from, say, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, and 1. Q1 is 0.84, median is 0.87. Oops, 0.9 is Q3, sorry about that. Let me do some more accurate. 0.84 is almost halfway to 9, and then about halfway between is 0.87. We go up to the max is 9.5, and the min is 0.79. So there we go. Alrighty.